none of my friends agree with me, but my theory about this is I would much prefer my crazy straight up. Having covered Dick Cheney for 8 years, and I watched him try to dismantle checks and balances and curb the First Amendment. And if you do it in a calm headmaster's voice, and a lot of the reporters in town have used you as a source, and they think you've got a great resume and many accomplishments, it's much easier for you to get away with hurting checks and balances than if you go on Twitter at 3 in the morning and say crazy things, because then, everybody's on guard, and the whole country is now on guard, and journalism is wide awake, and we have new investigative teams, and the Post has a new motto, democracy dies in the darkness, and the Times has an ad about, the truth is hard to find, and the LA Times is selling T-shirts that say, we won't shut up. And so, everybody is at the barricades, which to me is a healthier situation than what I saw with Dick Cheney. And Evan would know with Nixon, I would think it was the same thing, where it just took a long time to realize, the nefarious chicanery that was going on.
And Joe, what are we're talking about press freedom here today. What are your concerns about what Trump might do to the press over the next 4 years?
Well, there's an extent to which I agree with what Maureen just said, which is it is good to have the crazy straight up in awakening both our colleagues and the public. On the other hand, too crazy is really, really dangerous for the country and the world. So there's a downside to the crazy for sure. But I worry less about Trump in some ways because they continue to demonstrate incredible incompetence in the Trump White House. So the comforting part is they just can't find their rear ends with both hands, and they continue to screw up their most nefarious plans. They can't implement a lot of them. There are so many people. Nobody under the Secretary of Defense has been appointed in the Pentagon yet. Okay, they don't know the Obama people are still held over there. So, and that's far from the only example. So, whatever terrible things they want to do, they don't seem that capable of doing yet. That said, however, in the Justice Department, which is kind of the tip of the spear as far as the press is concerned, there is reason to worry. Jeff Sessions is not dumb. He showed he was smart enough to recuse from the Russia case the other day, and they will go after journalists, and I am concerned about that. The Obama administration did some of that with leakers. I would not be at all surprised if Trump feels he is preparing the way with his base to try to prosecute journalists in the years to come, and that would be very, very troubling.